Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm doing another episode of the top 10 Fast and Furious vehicles to own and create here in Grand Theft Auto Online. So a couple things before we get started. This is going to be part 3. So if you think a couple of your favorite cars from the franchise are missing, well, they might just be featured in part 1 and 2. So check those out. I'll leave links to them in the description. Also, when creating these cars, I have to balance two things. Number 1, looking for the most iconic vehicles in the Fast and Furious franchise, but also number 2, are the cars readily available in Grand Theft Auto Online in order for me to most accurately recreate them? So that was kind of a balancing act that I had there. Also, kind of a bummer is because of glitches and hackers, we don't have the garage like reorganizer thing. So this is not the order I would have put these in, but we're just going to have to go with it because unfortunately Rockstar has taken away that blue circle for us to organize our cars. But with out of the way, let's not waste any more time. Let's get it started. If you have any cars that you want to see featured in maybe part 4, let me know in the comment section down below. But anyways, let's jump into it. Now, before we get started today, I do want to bring you guys 2 honorable mentions because I keep seeing these vehicles appear in the comment section, and that is actually 2 vehicles directly from Fast and Furious that made their way into Grand Theft Auto Online. The first of which is the Wastelander. A vehicle identical to this was featured in Fast 5, and it seems as if Rockstar literally watched this movie and said, we want this car in this game, and it comes in the special vehicle of the Wastelander, so that's the first one right there. And then the second one is the ramp buggy, or we know it as the flip car in Fast 6. Deckard Shaw used this to kind of zoom around the city, causing mass destruction. So those are 2 honorable mentions right there. I wanted to bring these 2 up before we got into the other vehicles today because so many people have been talking about them, but I'm not going to include them in the top 10 that you can own and customize because there isn't a whole lot you can do, especially with the Wastelander. But with out of the way, let's jump into the other cars and let's get it started. All right, so here we go, guys. The first car we're going to be looking at today is the Monte Carlo featured in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. So this is one of my favorite cars in this movie because it was really so different from a lot of the ones you saw in there. And we've got this beautiful kind of like sandy brownish color on there. Now, I couldn't go for the more rusted over hood look, so unfortunately we had to go with carbon fiber. Now, we are using the Sabre Turbo Custom right there, but I do feel like I got the wheels down pat. I really do like the color on there. I think that looks incredibly unique. We tried to match the steering wheel and the interior as much as possible. I'll give you guys a quick look on the inside right here just to see kind of what we went with. We kept it pretty simple. And then on the license plate, we've just got Tokyo Drift on the back, which I think looks pretty awesome. So this vehicle is amazing. We chose the Sabre Turbo Custom for this Monte Carlo. I think it looks absolutely awesome. The only thing, like I said, I don't love is the fact that we had to go with that carbon fiber hood there, but I forgive it because this car is so amazing and was really incredible in that movie. All right, moving on and changing gears a bit, we've got the Ocelot Lynx, which is Deckard Shaw's Jaguar F-Type from Furious 7. So this is from the very first scene when he exits the hospital. He gets in this awesome Jaguar, and it's based off the F-Type, and we've used the Lynx here, so we've gone with no livery. We made some simple modifications to the hood. We did the secondary color black because I think his has a black roof in the film. Just some simple bumper tweaks right there. We kept the stock wheels, and I think the license plate either says Fast 7 or Furious 7. Yeah, it says Fast 7 right there. So the Lynx, like I said, one of my favorite cars in the game. It's just unfortunate that it's really incredibly overpriced at like $1.7 million for a sports car, but this is amazing, and it's based off the Jaguar F-Type, which I think is pretty cool. So, and it's Deckard Shaw's vehicle, and he's an awesome character in Furious 7. That's our second car today. All right, up next, we've got the Declasse Voodoo Custom, which is supposed to be Dom's Impala from the very start of the Fate of the Furious. So this is when he's in Cuba. I think it's like the very first vehicle you see in the movie. So we got Dom and some palm trees on the license plate right there. And we are using, as I mentioned, the Voodoo Custom right here. And this is just a beautiful car. It's this super bright red. The only thing we're missing is like the white stripe that goes on the side. Unfortunately, we can't really do anything about that. But the interior is beautiful too. We've got these bucket seats with the nice red and white interior right there. And it kind of matched the ones that Dom had in the movie too, and you can just see how beautiful the inside of this car is. And I wanted to keep it as pretty simple as I could, but this is just such an amazing car. Like, the first one you see in the movie's got to be an awesome one, and it certainly was in the Fate of the Furious with Dom's Impala right here. So that was an awesome car, and I'm really happy that with the Voodoo Custom, we were able to recreate it here in Grand Theft Auto Online. But anyways, let's keep going, and let's move on. And staying in Cuba and the Fate of the Furious, we've got this vehicle right here. Now, I don't actually know what car this was. I think it's like a Ford of some kind, but it's the car that the guy that Dom is drag racing has in the Cuban Mile, which is why we have this license plate right here, Cuban Mile. So he was using this car, and it was this like all black Ford car, and I'm not sure if the Declasse Tornado was the best for it here, but I think it was the closest we could possibly get. So it was all black. The only thing I don't love here is the soft top, because that one was hard. We have the black rims with kind of the red walls. Now, the reason I did the red walls is the guy's car had like red parts of his wheel. It was kind of interesting. If you guys have seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And we kept the interior kind of simple here. We went all black. I think we went with like a black steering wheel too. Just made some really minor changes right here. And what's funny is Dom's car ended up catching on fire. Spoiler alert. So I ended up going with the flame dials right there. So that's pretty awesome. That was the vehicle that Dom raced in the Cuban Mile in the Fate of the Furious. Another one of those iconic, just awesome vehicles. And I was really happy that I was able to kind of closely recreate this with the Declasse Tornado Custom. It can't be Fast and Furious without a Nissan GTR, and today we've got Brian's GTR from Fast 6. So this one is actually pretty simple. It's all white. The only upgrades I did was a couple modification to the front bumper. I changed up the wheels to match what he had in the movie. We went with a very simple spoiler, and then we just have Brian on the license plate right there. So this was a really beautiful car. The all white on the GTR looks amazing. And I think as the movies have gotten on, Brian's GTRs have gotten a little bit more simpler as he's, I guess, matured. I guess you could say that. So this one's pretty cool, and it was featured in Fast 6. Just super clean, super iconic, and I really love this. I don't know if his hood was completely identical to that, but it was at least similar, so that's why I upgraded that as well. But I still think it looks amazing, and it's just such an awesome car in Fast 6. Moving on, we've got another vehicle from the Fate of the Furious. This is Roman's Bentley Continental. Now, the Cognoscenti Cabrio would have been a little bit closer. However, the Cognoscenti Cabrio doesn't allow you to do a secondary color, and as you guys can see, his was like a white with like a wine red or like a maroon color. And that's exactly what we went with right here. The Windsor has a bunch of crazy livery options, but we have opted to go with none of them. You can see we have Roman on the back there on the license plate, and we just kept the interior the same. Actually, I don't even know if we can make any changes in the interior. We modified the wheels a little bit, got them pretty chrome. Again, I know the shape of the front is a little bit bothersome. The Cognoscenti Cabrio is a little rounder, makes a little bit more sense, but I wanted to do the two-tone color, and unfortunately the Cabrio didn't allow us to do that. But that is Roman's Bentley Continental from the Fate of the Furious. Moving on, we've got Dom's Plymouth Roadrunner from Fast 7. So for this vehicle, I was kind of unsure what to go with, so I went with the Declasse Vigero. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. And we got Dom on the license plate. I kind of went with like this sunrise reddish orange color. And again, same thing here. We had to go with the carbon fiber hood to kind of get that black secondary look. It's not perfect, but it does work pretty well in my opinion. We got the nice chrome wheels right there, the muscle wheels. Pretty simple car. Like I said, I don't know if it's spot on. I didn't want to use the Sabre Turbo again, which we used over there. So the Sabre Turbo might have been a better option, but I want to give you guys a little bit of variety here in terms of cars. So we ended up going with the Vigero right here. And I still think it looks nice. I love the paint job. I love the simplicity of it. And that was just such an awesome car in Furious 7 that I definitely wanted to feature it in this video. Moving on, we've got the Vapid Bullet, which is based off of the Ford GT. And this one was actually featured in Fast 5. I wish I could have added a little bit more dust to it because it seemed like every time you saw this car, it was like super dusty in need of a car wash. So pretty simple car. We went with this regular blue color with a surf blue pearlescent. We went with the white secondary. Now, the one in the movie had a really nice white stripe going up the hood. Unfortunately, the Bullet doesn't allow us to do that sort of customization. I tried to get the wheels as similar as I could too. And on the license plate, we've got Ford GT right there. So the Bullet is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated supercars. Not in terms of performance because it's not all that great, but I love the look of it. You just don't see a lot of them driving around, and I don't particularly know why. But the Vapid Bullet is awesome, and this one is incredibly cool as it was featured in Fast 5 with the Ford GT. All right, moving on to our last two vehicles. This is the Fast 4 Buick Grand National. This car was awesome. I love how simple it was. It was pretty easy to make in-game. We are using the Williard Faction Custom, and it's all black. We've gone with the all black wheels with the custom tires. Those are muscle wheels. We really darked out the window tint as well. One cool thing about this car is it had some like crazy like tan seats. So I ended up using like the beaded seat covers to try and like emulate that right there, going with the beaded one. So I thought that was pretty awesome. The interior looks pretty nice too. I kept it really, really simple. Didn't make a whole lot of changes there. But this Buick Grand National was awesome. They really transformed it into a pretty sweet muscle car, if I do say so myself. And we just went with Furious on the license plate right there. I think this one was featured in Fast 4. So that one was awesome right there. That is the 1984 Buick Grand National. And our final car today is the Audi R8 that was featured in Fast 7. This was like the first car that Letty actually raced in Race Wars. So this one was pretty cool right there. From the movie, it almost had this like bronzy gold wheels, and it was this matte red color with a black secondary, and we got the Fast 7 tag on there. Again, this is one of my favorite sports cars in the game. Doesn't get a whole lot of love because of its performance, but the Audi R8 is amazing, and I thought this one was really cool. Even though it did end up losing to Letty in that race war battle, I still think it was a pretty awesome vehicle and an overall awesome car for us to recreate here in Grand Theft Auto Online. So anyways, those are the top 10 Fast and Furious and Fate of the Furious vehicles that you can recreate here in Grand Theft Auto Online. I tried to create 10 pretty awesome vehicles for you guys that you could easily replicate if you wanted to build them for your own garage. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go and enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.